All right, on to G6. Things are starting to heat up a little bit around the world. Just an interesting point here is the Africa section of it, and an important piece of it is the fact that he did build a transport infantry and tank over here, which can now strike here on US 6. But means he didn't spend 13 IPC on the Pacific, which will come over to the Pacific in just a second. But I kind of like how he played this. So he's, dead zoned that from the transport. These guys are dead zoning him or here. So really South Africa is my only safe spot. Or if I can, bring everybody in here together and all three live, this could be a safe spot as well. So I kind of like how he played this. I think he's doing decent, as good as could be expected with having to chase down Germany through the Africa. Meanwhile, I'm getting the points that I needed in order to support the European front. That was a disaster with my tanks, and the Panzers died out early in their attempt to make it to Moscow. So this is a good play. I think what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to have all three attack right into here, Congo. And if I miss completely, I may just retreat whatever's living back into South Africa, whether that's all three. Then I'll have three sitting here. And he either moves them all down here and then brings a transport in, which is what he'd probably do. In which case, then I get a 3 versus 3 fight. Or we just sit tight and make him come to us. Use his transport coming all the way down this way. If we really want, we could bring a Japan plane in here or something just to threaten that naked transport. We'll see what Japan's turn brings. Or if I get, if I completely miss and he gets one hit, then I retreat down here and just make the best of it. Because he can only send one tank, I'll at least get South Africa another turn. Or we hit and we sit in Congo, and he'll have 3 units that can attack me, and if I'm lucky, I'll have 3 units living. So worst case scenario is I hit, he hits. I only have 2 units living in Congo. Then he could try and just do 2 versus 2 and blitz the tank down, or he sends all 3 here. But we should at least get one. Very worst scenario, he sends 2 here, sends his tanks down, and we'll get this for one more turn. So, we're just going to make the most out we can out of this. Now, the things that were a little bit more interesting is he did attack Persia with 2 infantry and 2 artillery, and sure enough, he killed 4 of my infantry, 3 Japan, 1 German down here. But is that the best use of 4 of his Russian ground units? I don't know. He got Persia, which is a UK territory, and so he'll get 1 point for the UK out of it, I guess. But I'm not a big fan of losing Russian ground units when Germans are coming on the steppe. Granted, the Germans are coming slowly on the steppe, so, maybe. But it's not like he's going to be threatening India. We're going to continue to pump 3 units a turn coming this way from Japan. So they're either going to be going this way or they're going to start going this way. So, whatever. He did not kill these 2 in Kaza, which means I'm going to have some units here of these 3. Most likely all 3 of these units that can go to Caucasus when Germany goes here to help reinforce here. We'll just see what we'll see what Japan's turn brings after UK goes. But we're going to have enough regardless. With him just having 13 attacking units, we're going to have enough that we can attack Karelia confidently and stack Caucasus and still make sure we leave a guy in here just to give him headaches. So feeling pretty good about that. I feel like we're going to be able to stack Berlin, and I'm also going to move a stack here to Baltics, wide to the Baltics, because I won't have my stack here to threaten Karelia. And he'll just redump these 6 guys or 7 guys into Karelia if I don't. So yeah, we still want to be able to attack Karelia by having a move here. We'll have Karelia still dead zoned, And these guys, G6, G7, G8, G9, they're still participating in the G9 if need be. Or G6, G7, G8, G9. Now, of course, that means G8 would have a split stacks here, but we'll probably have enough that we could do a double split stack because Russia doesn't have that much assault force. So I'm okay with them going that way rather than continuing my streamline this way. And that also means these guys can just continue their straight march this direction while these guys go up to dead zone this turn. So here we go. So I got the 46 IPC this turn. I hadn't actually bought my unit, so I got 46 IPC this turn, but only 13 production spots. So, normally I start out with, okay, let's get all our ground maxed out. And then I say, okay, well, let's change at least a couple of those to tanks. And I don't know that I need that I want just a low infantry down here. I think we'll go down to just 12 unit build. And so that gives me 4 extras. So I could put another tank in Berlin, but I think instead, because I'm taking away here, I'm going to try to push my fighters forward. I'm just going to build some artillery here to be able to trade France, Northwest Europe, possibly. So I think that's the route we're going to go. Gonna move that stack on down there. We're gonna go. He's got 7 units here. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 5. I did think about the possibility of a bomber, by the way, just to start getting headaches. But I mean, really, he's got 2 carriers here, so he's got room for 2 more. 4 fighters. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9. And I'd only get to 6 planes. So it's not like I'm going to be giving him all that much headache by creating a bomber. And I think the tanks will be slightly more powerful. And attack strength, if you follow me. It's a unique measurement, but each tank is worth 5. So that 12 IPC gets me 10. Whereas a bomber's worth 6. So it's better for the tanks. So we're just going to dump all these guys here. I could have gone for something like, attack here with them. I could do something like that. Or send the tank there and 2 there. It's not actually a bad idea to send all 3 here, right? Likely have a tank live. He has to clean up. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to just stick with my original plan. I'm not going to overthink it. We're splitting hairs down there. I'm sure there's a more efficient way and best way to preserve points here. If you know the best way to stay alive and as annoying as long as possible with Germany, then feel free to put it in the comments. I'm just not putting too much of my head into it because I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference in the end. But, it could. And the reason I say it's not going to make that much of a difference is I do think he made a mistake. He dumped his fleet into C-Zone 64. I don't know that he realized that all 9 of these planes can still reach C-Zone 64. These guys going 1, 2, 3, 4, landing on the carriers going. The carriers planes going 1, 2, 3, landing over here somewhere. Or on a built carrier for that matter. And then these 2 guys going 1, 2, 3, and then landing on this carrier coming on out there. So all 9 of these planes and all of these boats can attack here, and that leaves me like a 93% shot of sinking this entire fleet. And that includes his transports too. So I might even take 1 fighter out to help clear Persia with these 3 guys, and it still leaves me like an 86% shot at clearing that fleet. We'll see when it comes to Japan's turn, when I get to it. But this might have been, he might have set me up for the knockout blow right there. And he built the fighter and 2 destroyers. So I only need to build 3 just to match him. And I'll continue building my 3 ground, and then we'll see what it is exactly I build up in Japan outside of that. I haven't really looked at it yet, but we certainly can match his builds, and I think we're going to wipe his fleet. But first things first, let's wipe out Corellia. These are professionally trained fighters, so they are going to kick some butt. Ooh. 2 hits out of the infantry. Nice. Ooh, that stinks. For him, not me. Nope. Well, we made up for that, but he's still struggling. I'll take it. Boom. There we go. Nice. Big whiff. Ah, rats. Oh well. Whatever. Like I said, I don't think it's going to make too big a deal in the game in the end. That's why I didn't think too hard on that. I think we're in a good position now. So we got 13 units there. He can attack with 13. We're going to be able to add in a couple units of Japan into that as well. So I want to get him into here, G7, where he can attack G8. I didn't go here just because those fighters could hit as well as the bomber, so he could do an airstrike on the tank. Down here, he can only send the bomber. The fighters can't strike him. So he'd have to risk the bomber on it. Small things. Yeah, I mean, those are little things, but important. So there we go. We got Caucasus. We're going to start building out of there. We got another 8 infantry coming and tanks, so we're going to have 9 and 4 builds. So we're going to be putting 13 units next turn up here. So, and then we got these guys. We might get a G8 strike, but I doubt it. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I normally I would go ahead and calculate it out, but whether it's G8 or G9, I don't think it's going to be relevant. I think he made it. He fell on his sword over here. One thing I got to do a better job being careful of, because I calculated everything, is checking to double check, make sure they didn't bomb here, because he does have this bomb around. What if he had strap bombed here and I couldn't put 9 or 10 guys in here? Now I'm okay here. I got 15 guys, so I mean we're okay versus his 6, 9, and 2 cruisers. But you know, too often I when I'm playing this thin, I forget to double check, and all of a sudden I can't put all the guys I built in there. That is frustrating. So learn from that lesson, guys. All right, that's the end of this turn.